English language arts. Theme analysis. Shakespeare's Hamlet. Theme 1. Revenge. The driving force behind the plot, Hamlet seeks to avenge his father's murder by Claudius. Key examples: the ghost's command, revenge his foul and most unnatural murder. Act 1, Scene 5. Hamlet's hesitation and eventual fulfillment of revenge in Act 5. Theme 1. Revenge. Analysis. Revenge is portrayed as a destructive force that consumes Hamlet and leads to multiple deaths. Contrast with Laertes' impulsive pursuit of revenge for Polonius's death. Theme 2. Madness. The theme of madness is central to Hamlet's character and the play's ambiguity. Key examples: Hamlet's feigned madness, I am but mad north-northwest. Act 2, Scene 2. Ophelia's genuine descent into madness after Polonius's death. Theme 2. Madness. Analysis. Shakespeare blurs the line between real and feigned madness, leaving Hamlet's sanity ambiguous. Madness serves as a tool for Hamlet to uncover the truth and critique societal norms. Theme 3. Mortality. The inevitability of death and its impact on human behavior. Key examples: Hamlet's soliloquy, to be, or not to be, that is the question. Act 3, Scene 1. The graveyard scene, Act 5, Scene 1, where Hamlet reflects on the skull of Yorick. Theme 3. Mortality. Analysis. Hamlet's obsession with mortality reflects his existential crisis. The play suggests that death is the great equalizer, rendering all human actions ultimately meaningless. Theme 4. Indecision. Hamlet's inability to act decisively drives the plot and contributes to the tragedy. Key examples: Hamlet's delay in avenging his father's murder. His soliloquy, now might I do it pat, now he is praying. Act 3, Scene 3. Theme 4. Indecision. Analysis. Hamlet's indecision stems from his overthinking and moral complexity. The play explores the consequences of inaction and the human tendency to overanalyze. Theme analysis. Shakespeare's Hamlet. Shakespeare's Hamlet is a masterpiece of Renaissance literature that explores complex existential and moral dilemmas. The play's central themes include the agonizing struggle between thought and action, the pervasive nature of deceit and corruption, and the inescapable reality of mortality and decay. Theme analysis. Shakespeare's Hamlet. 1. Thought versus action. At its core, Hamlet is a character study of a man paralyzed by his own intellect. While characters like Laertes and Fortinbras act immediately on impulse, Hamlet overthinks every consequence, delaying his revenge. He struggles to balance the desire for vengeance with the moral and religious weight of his actions, illustrating the tension between intellect and instinct. Theme analysis. Shakespeare's Hamlet. 2. Appearance versus reality. The Danish court is a world of masks, deceit, and surveillance. Claudius gains the throne through treachery, and characters like Polonius rely on spying and manipulation rather than honesty. To investigate the ghost's claims, Hamlet feigns an antic disposition, but this act blurs the line between his real grief and his fabricated madness, ultimately causing real tragedy. Theme analysis. Shakespeare's Hamlet. 3. Mortality and decay. Death is a constant presence, looming over the narrative from the ghost's initial appearance to the devastating final scene. Hamlet's contemplation of Yorick's skull and decaying corpses highlights a morbid obsession with the physical reality of death. This is deeply tied to the theme of moral corruption, As Claudius's sins of regicide and incest rot the state, decay becomes a metaphor for the sickness within the kingdom. Theme analysis: Shakespeare's Hamlet. 4. Revenge versus justice. The play grapples with what it means to exact true justice. Hamlet is tasked by a ghost to avenge his father's murder, yet he must navigate the murky ethical waters of whether personal vengeance is divinely justified. The cyclical nature of revenge drives the plot, eventually leading to the catastrophic deaths of almost the entire royal family. Themes in Hamlet. Themes in Hamlet, as mentioned earlier, are related to rot and decay. This rot and decay extends from the evil action of King Claudius, who kills his own brother. There is some similarity with Macbeth, where the killing of King Duncan leads to chaos and anarchy and a disruption of God's natural and moral order. In the case of Hamlet, the chaos and anarchy are not as obvious as in Macbeth. There are no open rebellions or massacres, except for the ending of the play. Instead, we witness how Hamlet suffers mentally and psychologically from the pressure of how he should react to his father's death, while the court of Claudius pretends to be righteous and upright. Themes in Hamlet. William Shakespeare's Hamlet explores the human condition through 5 interconnected, major themes: revenge, appearance versus reality, madness, mortality, and decay, and action versus inaction. Themes in Hamlet. Revenge. The central driving force of the play. Triggered by the ghost's demand to avenge his murder, the theme questions the moral cost of retribution. While Hamlet wrestles with doubt and divine law, characters like Laertes act swiftly and impulsively. Shakespeare suggests that revenge is ultimately a destructive, cyclical force that consumes both the guilty and the innocent. Themes in Hamlet. Appearance versus reality. Elsinore is a court of deception, spying, and false faces. Characters consistently conceal their true motives, leading to tragedy. Hamlet must use an antic disposition feigning madness to unmask his uncle's guilt, while Claudius hides his regicide behind a facade of a righteous, mourning king. Themes in Hamlet. Madness. Both real and feigned mental instability serve as a way to circumvent courtly rules and speak uncomfortable truths. Hamlet feigns madness to confuse his enemies, but the trauma of his circumstances causes genuine psychological turmoil for both himself and Ophelia. Themes in Hamlet. Mortality and decay. The physical and moral corruption of Denmark is a persistent motif. This peaks in Hamlet's famous graveyard scene where he confronts physical decay, represented by Yorick's skull, realizing that death is the ultimate, inescapable equalizer regardless of social status or power. Themes in Hamlet. Action versus inaction. While traditional revenge heroes act immediately, Hamlet spends the play overthinking, philosophizing, and doubting the ghost's credibility. This profound hesitation creates tragic delays, paralyzing him and keeping him trapped in thought until circumstances force his hand. Happy learning. Great job. Let's go. Wow. Thank you for watching. See you next time.